In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of popular cases made by SPIGEN for the brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max. We're going to see how they fit, how they feel. I'm going to let you know which one of these cases are my favorite, and by the end of this video, you'll know which one of these cases are right for you. So let's get started. So first up, we have the SPIGEN Tough Armor AI case. So here is the case itself. Now this case in particular is made of a two-piece design. It's got a softer kind of rubbery inner core shell surrounded by a harder outer plastic shell. I don't really particularly like these kinds of cases because over time, typically the softer shell kind of starts to bow out and bulge over time, but that's just something to keep in mind for down the road. Inside this case, it does have kind of like this foam core, and also has them in the corners here to help with drop protection. This case also does have MagSafe built in, and it's got a little plastic kickstand on the back here. So we'll put our phone inside the case. You don't have to take off the outer shell to put the phone in. I just kind of wanted to show you, what the case was about first. So we'll just pop our phone inside the case here. So it feels pretty good in the hand. It's not grippy. It's kind of smooth feeling. It's not, like I said, it's not slippery. It just has a smooth type of rubber to it. The buttons on the side are easily pressable, nice and clicky. The only thing, again, with this case is these buttons are flush with the case. They don't really stick out from the side, so it might be a little hard for you to find these buttons, if it's in your pocket or something like that, but they do press in pretty easily. Now, I don't have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone, so you're going to get to see how much of a raised edge we get with this case without your screen protector being on the phone, and it doesn't look like you get much of an edge with this case. It also doesn't seem to add a lot of extra bulk to the phone, so it keeps the phone fairly slim. Here we have a smooth, kind of rubbery plastic feel on the side. We've got our flat volume buttons and our kind of serrated action button on the side. I like how they're a little bit thicker than the normal buttons. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. Again, we do have some reinforcements in the corners for some drop protection. We have our flat power button over here and our cutout for our camera. And you can see how much case you actually get versus, where the phone actually starts. On the back here, it's got kind of like a smooth, kind of rubbery type feel to it. Again, we have that little, it's like a little piece of plastic. It's really flimsy. It's only gonna, hold your phone in a landscape. It's not gonna hold it up in a portrait, but I guess it's there. You can use it. It's not really a big deal. And we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. And it also, like I said, has MagSafe built in. So if you have your MagSafe power bank, you can clip it onto the back here, and it should start to charge up your phone. Let's turn it on. And there we go. And as far as the hold, it does seem to have a pretty good, strong hold on the back, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. It's actually being held on there really well. And this case also does work with regular wireless charging as well. Again, not a horrible case. I'm not really too fond of these two-piece designs for the reasons that I've already told you, and because the buttons on the side here are flat. They don't really protrude outside the case, so you might be hunting for the buttons a little bit. Then here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid case in the classic black. So here is the case. It kind of looks like an old iPod, and it also has these kind of plastic covers that you want to peel off before you put your phone inside the case. It does have kind of like a matte feel to the back here. These things don't do anything. They're just for aesthetics to look, kind of cool. The case is very simple. Nothing, again, it's nothing special. It's got a hard back surrounded by a firm rubber edge, and it's also got MagSafe built in. So we'll put the phone inside the case. So it feels pretty good in the hand. Again, it does not have any grip to it. It does have a smooth, rubbery type feel. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it's got that slight raised edge all the way around the phone's front. It doesn't add much bulk to the phone either. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button, our cutouts on the bottom, our power button on the side, along with that cutout for our camera, and you can kind of see how much thickness you get from the case versus where the phone is. And then again on the back, it's got that, that iPod look. It doesn't have any functionality for the phone. It is matte, but it's very plasticky feeling. And we do have a slight raised edge for our cameras. And it's also got MagSafe built in. Clips onto the back. And it starts to charge your phone after a few seconds. And again, this case does have a really nice strong hold for that MagSafe magnet. And this case also does work with regular wireless charging. Nothing special to this case. It's very, very simple. I'm really not a huge fan, but it's there in case you like it. And then here we have the SPIGEN Classic C1 case. Kind of looks like an old Mac. So here is the case, and just like the SPIGEN Tough Armor, this again is a two-piece design. So it's got kind of like this rubbery type of inner core that can come out from the plastic. It doesn't come out very easily, but again, you can see that it's got this kind of TPU inner core with a hard plastic outer shell, and this bottom piece just popped off. So already not really a huge fan of this case, especially because it can easily come apart, but it's just something to keep in mind. On the inside of this case does have that kind of like that foam material again. It does not have it in the corners, just on the kind of the back of the phone. It's also got this clear hole that you can kind of see through, so you can see your Apple logo on your phone. Let's put our phone inside the case here. Wow, you really got to press it on your phone. So the case it's slippery. It's got this hard plastic all the way around the phone, kind of where you're going to hold on to it. And there's absolutely no grip whatsoever. No textures. It just feels like a slippery iPhone. So that's one thing I really don't like already. The buttons, they're okay. They're a little mushy. They're not very clicky, but they do work. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see there's a very slight raised edge around the front of the phone. So if you put a tempered glass screen protector on here, there's going to be pretty much no edge. It doesn't seem to add a lot of bulk to the phone. We have our separated volume buttons here and our action button. And then keep in mind, these buttons are not free floating. They're actually part of the inner core, which is part of the reason kind of why they're so, mushy and not clicky. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. On the other side, we have our power button and our cutout for our camera, and kind of see how much of the case you get before it hits the phone. On the back looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like the inside of the phone. You can see your iPhone's Apple logo on the back. It does look pretty neat, and it's also got MagSafe built in, but it's just all hard, slippery plastic. So if you put your phone down on something that has some sort of an angle to it, your phone's probably gonna fall off. And we also have a slight raised edge around our cameras as well. So we'll try out our MagSafe. MagSafe again, it's got a nice strong hold, and eventually starts to charge your phone. There you go. Yeah, so it's got a nice strong hold in the back, so your MagSafe accessory is not going to just fall off. And again, this does work with regular wireless charging. So again, I'm not the biggest fan of this phone for a couple reasons. One, again, it's a two-piece design. You saw this back just pop off. That might happen again over time. The buttons are not very clicky. They're slightly mushy, and the case is slippery. So I would definitely not recommend this case. And then here we have the SPIGEN Liquid Crystal case. So here is the case itself. It is very flimsy. It does not have any hard backing or sides to it. It's just a very simple, kind of clear, flimsy case. But you can see right through it, so it shows off the color of your phone. So the case does feel good in the hand. It does have grip to it. Buttons are pretty easy to press. A little bit clicky. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see it's still got a slight raised edge around the front of your screen. It does have these little bubbles in the corners for some extra drop protection. We've got some separated volume buttons with our action button. Got our cutouts on the bottom. Our power button on the other side with the cutout for our camera button. And you can kind of see how much of the case is covering the phone before it hits the actual phone itself. Not a lot, but again, it's also keeping the phone pretty slim. On the back, shows off the color of your phone as far as fingerprints. Does seem to do a pretty good job at keeping the fingerprints down. And we do have a slight raised edge for our cameras. Again, this is just a very simple, clear case. It's going to offer your phone some protection. Feels good in the hand, does have a little bit of grip to it, and it keeps your phone pretty slim. In this case, also works with regular wireless charging. And then here we have the SPIGEN Optik Armor case. This case has a cover for your camera lenses in the back. So here is the case itself. Again, on the back, it's got that cover for your camera lenses. It does clip in place. It does have a kind of like a rough texture for the back that is made of rubber. This piece right here is made of all plastic. And it seems to have MagSafe built in. So feels okay in the hand. It's not grippy at all, but it does kind of have a smooth rubber feel to it. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it still has the same raised edge around the front of the phone. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. On the side, we do have kind of like this slight texture, but it doesn't seem to do anything for grip. We've got our kind of serrated volume buttons along with that action button. On the bottom, we've got our cutouts. On the other side, we have our power button. That is, again, it's got the serration on it, the slight bit of texture, and then the cutout for the camera button. And we can see how much case there is before it actually touches your phone. Again, on the back, it's got kind of like this rubbery type rough texture to it. Feels pretty nice, keeps down fingerprints. And then we have this plastic piece that does cover your cameras that is not very easy to move, but once it's in place, it doesn't just slide back over. It actually, locks into place. And as far as the raised edge, we do get a nice raised edge to protect our cameras as well. When we push this over, it kind of locks into place, so it's not going to just move. But I think to get this open, you might want to use your left hand. It's not very easy with your right. It seems to be easier with your left. So it's just something to keep in mind. Not too bad. Let's check out our MagSafe. I don't know why it takes so long for it to start charging, but it actually does. Now, as far as the magnetic hold on this case, it definitely doesn't seem as strong as some of the other cases that I've reviewed. This one actually seems kind of light. It's not, it seems to keep the MagSafe accessory on your phone, but it's definitely not as strong holding as some of the other cases. So this case isn't that bad. I just kind of wish that the texture on the sides was a little bit more aggressive to help with, some of the grip. This kind of texture on the side, again, it doesn't really do anything to help with grip. So a couple things that I have to gripe about this case is the hold for the MagSafe magnet and the kind of texturing on the side. It doesn't do anything to help with grip on the phone. You can feel it a little bit, but again, it just feels like smooth rubber. And then here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid S case. So here is the case. It is a clear case with MagSafe built in. It also has a metal kickstand on the bottom. Looks pretty nice. It's got a nice hard plastic backing surrounded by a kind of firm rubbery type edge. So we'll put our phone inside the case. Feels good in the hand. It does have grip to it. Buttons, they're not super clicky, but they're easy to press. If we look at it from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge around the front of your screen. On the bottom here, you can also see how thick that back plate is, but it doesn't add much extra bulk to the phone. We've got those little airbags in the corners for drop protection, our separated volume buttons, and our action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom, our power button on the side, and a cutout for our camera button. And again, you can see how much of a thickness you get between the case and the actual phone. On the back here, shows off the color of your phone. Again, we have that metal kickstand here. Seems pretty solid, and it seems like it pretty much stays in any position you're going to put it. So you can use your phone in a portrait mode or even a landscape, so you can watch some YouTube, and then it folds right back into the case flush. That's probably why the back portion of the case is so thick. Again, we have our MagSafe ring. We have also a slight raised edge for our cameras. It would be nice to see this just raised up a little bit more for a little bit more protection. Let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back. And it charges your phone. Now, as far as the hold, again, it doesn't seem to have as strong as a hold as some of the other cases, but it's good enough to keep your accessory on your phone. It doesn't seem like it's just going to fall off. It's just not as strong, but it seems adequate. I do like the fact that the kickstand is made of a solid metal and it's not flimsy feeling. That's pretty nice. So I would probably, if you're looking for a clear case, I would probably go with this case instead of just the cheaper Crystal series. Because again, you do get the kickstand and the inclusion of the MagSafe. So it's a pretty nice case. Then here we have the SPIGEN Enzo Aramid case. So here is the case itself. It does have a nice kind of microfiber on the inside of the case to keep your phone free from scratches. On the back, you can see that it does have the Aramid fiber. It's kind of like a little bit bumpy feeling, but it's all matte, so it's going to keep those fingerprints down. Looks really nice. It also does seem to have a metal insert for the camera ring, also premium looking. And it's surrounded by a firm rubbery type material with accented metal buttons. So far the case looks really nice, and it also does seem to have MagSafe built in. So you really got to push your phone inside the case. The phone is not grippy. It's kind of got a smooth rubbery type feel to it. It might also be on the verge of being slippery, which is definitely not good. I would really like to have seen some texture along the side of this case. I'm not sure like why you wouldn't put that to help so you don't drop your phone accidentally. Why would you want a smooth, slippery case? Not really sure, but that's already one thing that I don't like. Another thing is the buttons don't stick out very far from the case, so you might have some trouble kind of trying to find the buttons if you're not actually, looking at the phone. Buttons are clicky though, easily pressable. I would like to see these come out of the case just a little bit more. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. We have those accented metal buttons on the side, which is a nice touch. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We also have our power button on the side along with the cutout for our camera button. And you can see how thick the case is between that and the phone. On the back, again, it's got that Aramid fiber with the kind of bumpy feel. I like the way that it feels and the way that it looks. Looks really cool. We've got this little metal logo on the bottom here. And again, we do have a metal ring around our cameras. And again, it does have MagSafe built in. Seems like it's got a strong hold so far. And there we go. Wow. Yeah, so the hold on this it's super strong. Your MagSafe accessory is not going to fall off. I think this case probably has the strongest magnetic hold for MagSafe out of the SPIGEN lineup that I've tested so far. Very nice, strong hold. Really like that. So the case does look really good. Again, there's a couple of gripes that I do have. It's just again, it's on the verge of being slippery, and that's not good because you definitely don't want to accidentally just drop your phone. So that's one thing. They really should have put texture on the sides of this phone. It's not going to take away from the way that it looks. I think it would be a welcome addition. Just make it like a little rough so it's not going to be as slippery. The buttons look really nice. I just kind of wish that they kind of came off the case a little bit more so you could find them easier. But all in all, besides the things that I just told you I didn't like, it doesn't seem like a bad case. Then here we have the SPIGEN Liquid Air case. So here is the case itself. Again, this is just another very cheap feeling, simple case. It's very flexible. There's no hard, rigid edges on this case whatsoever. It does come in some different colors. It's got this kind of triangle texture on the back. That's pretty much it. Goes in the phone pretty easily. It feels, I think, too slippery. It's just the smooth plastic feel. And again, it's got kind of like this texture on the side, but I don't think it does anything to help with grip. I think this case it's again, just like the Enzo, it's on the verge of being slippery, which is not good. But the buttons are easily pressable, nice and clicky. They also come off the phone a little bit more. We do have a raised edge around the front of our screen. It does keep the phone fairly slim. Again, there's that texture on the side, which it doesn't feel like it does anything for grip for the case. We've got our volume buttons and our action button. Cutouts on the bottom. Power button on the side. Lanyard hole on the bottom. And a cutout for our camera button. And you can kind of see how much thickness we get on the edges of the case before it hits your phone. And again, we have that triangle texture on the back. And we have a raised edge around our cameras. And this case will also work with regular wireless charging because it does not have MagSafe. I'm not a huge fan of this phone. It's very simple, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just stating it's just a very simple case, nothing special. I just don't like the way that it feels in the hand. I think it's just too slick. And here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid in a frost color with MagSafe built in. So here is the case. Again, it does have MagSafe. It's got a nice hard backing, and it does have that frosted look to help keep fingerprints down, and it's surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. This case feels good in the hand. It's got some grip to it. Buttons are easily pressable, nice and clicky. If we take a look at the case from the side, again, it seems like all these SPIGEN cases have the same amount of raised edge. It doesn't seem like a lot. Again, if you put a tempered glass screen protector on your phone, it's then going to be pretty much flush with the case, which I don't like. But this case does keep the phone pretty slim. We've got those little airbags in the corners, our volume buttons on the side with the action button. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, our power button on the side, along with the lanyard hole and a cutout for our camera button. And again, you can see how thick the case actually is. On the back, shows off the color of your phone with that nice smooth matte feel, keeps down the fingerprints. I absolutely, when it comes to clear cases, I don't know why anybody would get anything less than a frosted case, because typically the clear cases are going to show fingerprints like crazy, especially if you have a little oil on your fingers. It's just not going to look good. And these frosted cases just keep down the fingerprints, and I like it the way that it looks. It looks like the frosted glass on the iPhone. Again, we've got our MagSafe, and we have a raised edge for our cameras. Let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back. And it starts to charge your phone. This seems to have a pretty strong hold as well for the MagSafe. Yeah, definitely nice. You don't have to worry about the phone just falling off whatever accessory you're going to have. It's got a pretty good strong hold, which I definitely like. So definitely a nice case. If I were to get a clear case, this is probably going to be the one that I would get, unless you want a kickstand, and then you're going to have to get one of the other cases. But I do like the matte look. I like the MagSafe, and it feels good in the hand. And this case also does work with regular wireless charging. And then here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid without the MagSafe. So here is that case. It does have a nice hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. And it's got these little stickers that you want to take out before you put your phone inside the case. So the case does feel nice in the hand, but again, it's got that smooth rubber feel. I'm not a big fan of that because I don't like accidentally dropping my phone. I like the case to have some sort of a texture or a grip to it, so you make sure that it stays in your hand. And a lot of these SPIGEN cases aren't like that. They have this smooth type of feel to them. I don't particularly like it. As far as the buttons, easily pressable, nice and clicky. You can see from the side that it does have a slight raised edge on the front of the screen. It also keeps your phone pretty slim. We've got our volume buttons on the side with our action button, cutouts on the bottom, power button on the side, along with our lanyard hole and a cutout for our camera button. And you can see how thick the case actually is from the side. On the back, got a nice clear case that shows off the color of your phone. It does have some grip to it when you run your finger over it. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to do a pretty good job at keeping down the fingerprints. And we have a raised edge around our camera lenses. Not a horrible case. Again, I don't like the way that these sides are so slick. That's my only real gripe with this case, is it's just slick, which, you know, it's going to make it easier for you to drop your phone, and why would anybody want that? I personally wouldn't. The back, again, it's nice and clear, and it doesn't seem to show fingerprints. And the case also does work with regular wireless charging because it doesn't have MagSafe. And then here we have the SPIGEN Rugged Armor case. So here is the case itself. It is made of a softer kind of flexible material. It does have kind of like a rough type of texture on the back. We've got our carbon fiber inlays. On the inside, it also has MagSafe built in, and it's got those foam pieces kind of on the back of the case as well as in some of the corners to help with drop protection. Now, I've used the Rugged Armor case on quite a few of my phones, and it's been upgraded over the years to include MagSafe, especially with these little foam pieces. And this is definitely one of my more favorite cases, even though it is pretty simple. Goes in the phone nicely, feels good in the hand. It does have some grip to it. There's more aggressive texture on the side, so it doesn't feel slippery, and that's the way that they should do it with all of their cases. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. Again, it feels nice in the hand. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see there's more of a raised edge on the bottom and the top of the phone, which is definitely a plus. They should have done that with all the other cases as well. You can see it keeps the phone pretty slim. We also have that kind of serrated texture along with some rough texture on the side, our separated volume buttons, our action button, cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button on the side that is kind of serrated, and we have that cutout for our camera, and you can see how much of an edge there is on the case before it hits your phone. Again, on the back, it's got kind of like that subtle rough texture with the smooth carbon fiber inlays, and it seems like we get a little bit more of a raised edge on the back of our phone. And then as far as the MagSafe, clips onto the back. And it starts to charge your phone. As far as the hold, it does seem to have a pretty good hold, maybe a little bit less than some of the other SPIGEN cases, but it's definitely strong enough to where the MagSafe accessory isn't going to just fall off your phone. It's on there pretty good. Definitely not a deal breaker for me. But to tell you the truth, this is probably my favorite SPIGEN case. There's a lot good going for it. Again, it feels good in the hand. It's got some rough texture, so it doesn't feel slippery. I like the way that it looks. It's very simple. It's got MagSafe built in. It also has some more of a raised edge on the front of the phone versus pretty much all of the other SPIGEN cases. And it keeps the phone pretty slim. So definitely recommend the SPIGEN Rugged Armor case. So those were all the SPIGEN cases for the brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max. You already know which my favorite case was, but I'm curious to know, out of all these, which one was your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys do want to pick any of these cases up, I will also be putting a product link in the video description. And if you guys enjoyed the video, it would really help out the channel if you gave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'd also recommend checking out my best and worst cases video for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which you can see by clicking on the video you see on your screen right now. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.